and welcome to Riverdale High School's commencement ceremony for the class of 2025. My name is Mark Hawkins, EM pronouns, and I am the principal at Riverdale High School. As we start the ceremony today, I am going to invite Mr. Derek Duman, our Assistant Principal and Athletic Director, to deliver our Indigenous Lands Acknowledgement.
Good evening. My name is Derek Duman, EM pronouns, and I proudly serve as the Assistant Principal and Athletic Director at Riverdale High School. Tonight, I have the honor of reading a land acknowledgement that was created by RHS students in Mr. McLean and Ms. Olguin's advisory class. We would like to acknowledge and honor the Indigenous people on whose traditional and ancestral homelands the Riverdale School District is located. The Multnomah, Kathlena, Clackamas, Tumwater, and Wadalala Bands of the Chinook, the Tualatin Kalapuya, and all Indigenous nations of the Columbia River. These tribes and many more established their residence along the Columbia River, creating communities and summer encampments to harvest and use the plentiful natural resources of the area. We respectfully acknowledge and honor all Indigenous communities, past, present, and future. We also acknowledge the systematic policies of genocide, relocation, and assimilation that still impact many Indigenous and Native American families today. By remembering and honoring these communities, we pay tribute to their legacy, lives, descendants, emphasizing our commitment to understanding and appreciating the contributions of the Indigenous peoples who have been and will continue to be caretakers of this land. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce everyone on the stage. To the far left is our District Superintendent, Chris Russo. Already introduced, Mr. Derek Duman. And tonight we have 3 of our district trustees with us. Drawing in the right order. Starting from the left, Ms. Alu Manga. Board Chair, Michelle Rosenbaum. And Board Vice Chair, Lana Strickland. Thank you all for being here. Next, I want to start with gratitude. I would like to extend gratitude to every person in this room for being here tonight and for the role that you played in these graduates' lives. Each of you, in some way, has contributed to the success of the graduates we are celebrating tonight. RHS faculty, staff, administration, and board, thank you for teaching, supporting, coaching, cajoling, holding accountable, loving, and leading the class of 2025 to this point. Families and friends, thank you for your tireless support of these graduates. Your love, guidance, resilience, and patience is reflected in their success. We hope that you participate in this celebration alongside your graduates. In their accomplishment, we also recognize the work and love that you have given each of them. Thank you, and congratulations to each of you. And of course, the graduates of the class of 2025. Thank you for your contributions to Riverdale High School. You've not only earned your diploma, but you have left your mark on our school. We hope that you feel pride in your accomplishment and that you each recognize you are capable of great things. Thank you for allowing all of us to be a part of your journey. With that, it is my honor to introduce our 2025 salutatorian, Caitlin Moran, and 2025 valedictorian, Brendan Masson.
Hello, Riverdale class of 2025. My name is Brendan Masson, speaking today as the high school's valedictorian.
Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Moran and I'm delighted to speak to you today as Riverdale's 2025 salutatorian.
We'd first like to thank our teachers, family, and classmates who have all contributed to our success over the past years. It would not have been possible to do what we've done without the help of all of us.
Our teachers are the sole reason we get to walk across the stage tonight. We were challenged by the difficult tests we stayed up late studying for, the presentations we practiced over and over until they were perfect, and the problems we tried solving time and time again but could never quite figure out. However, we also have you to thank for keeping us accountable, supporting us when we were struggling, and even just being a set of listening ears. Although we fail to appreciate you enough for it, every day we have spent in your classrooms has prepared us to take our next steps into the future.
We'd also like to thank the parents in attendance today who support their students throughout high school. Whether it be asking hard days when we all reply with one enthusiastic word, good. Because constant reminders to finish our homework every day, showing up and cheering, maybe louder than we'd like at our sports games, volunteering at our high school events, even if we told you not to, and providing a roof over our heads and food to eat every night. I'm speaking for myself and all my fellow graduates when I say that we don't remember to say thank you enough.
And to our classmates, the Riverdale class of 2025, thank you for a truly memorable high school experience. From the moment we walked in to New Student Day and played board games and croquet as nervous little freshmen, until today when we walk across the stage as graduating seniors, we made incredible memories together, and I know we will cherish these for years to come. I hope you will too.
Again, I would like to give thanks to the teachers, family, and my family and classmates who have all contributed to my success. Looking back, my first memory of high school is the orientation day that we had before first week of high school. I already knew some great friends from grade school. Everything else was new. We had new classmates, teachers, and an overall very different school environment. I still remember comparing Mr. Johnson's classroom to those we had in grade school, and how the only way to find my way around the building was by relying on directions from other people. Throughout that orientation day, I quickly became less nervous about starting high school, while I recognized what an excellent community it was. I quickly made new friends, recognized how excellent all the teachers were, and noticed how hardworking and dedicated the class as a whole was. Standing here right now, I still can't believe how quickly the time passed from that moment to now. I bet that many of us don't even remember that first year where we all wore masks all the time. I also remember watching the first senior exhibition presentations during my freshman year, thinking about how it would be such a long time until I created my own presentation. And now, all of the presentations that we created are long behind us. No matter how each of you feels about your past 4 years at Riverdale, whether that includes moments that felt boring, difficult, or stressful, I bet that most of us graduating would look back at the work we put in over the past 4 years and say that was worth it. Even if we don't feel that way right now, then perhaps we will in the future. This ceremony tonight does mark the end of one chapter of our lives. We won't ever have another class with all of us together again, go on a field day together, or see each other in the high school hallways. As sad as that is, this evening is also the beginning of the next part of our lives. This is a moment we've thought of for many years, even before high school, believing that that day would never arrive, and now it's finally here. Whether your next plans involve college, service, the military, entering the workforce, or continuing to figure out your next path, all of these paths will include both opportunities and challenges ahead. Throughout my time at Riverdale, I've learned that success isn't a matter of luck. It comes from showing up every day, ready to give your best, even when the future seems uncertain. Based on the type of school that Riverdale is, I know that everybody in this building graduating has had that experience. Whether it be taking the finals for each class, taking the SAT, or scrambling to finish all of your college applications. My faith has been a source of strength in those moments, allowing me to have confidence that my hard work and integrity are never wasted. We shouldn't expect the rest of our lives to be easy, but instead trust perseverance and faith to guide us through. Graduating today doesn't mean that we have everything figured out. Most of us still have big questions about our life and how we'll look that we don't have answers to yet, and that's okay. Because life isn't a race to get somewhere. It's calling to be faithful to where you are, to keep growing, and to trust that even when you don't see the full picture, there's a plan unfolding. Go out and chase your dreams while building a life based on truth, integrity, and compassion. Believe that your story is just getting started and that you're made to live it full. Most importantly, don't ever give up no matter how bad things may seem. So congratulations again to the class of 2025. Move on with confidence and determination, and may God bless you wherever you go.
Almost 4 years ago, we walked into the building for the first time as freshmen, unsure of everything. We were used to Zoom calls, usually with our cameras off, and sitting at home all day. It felt strange to have to even change out of our pajamas before going to class. I remember not knowing what anyone actually looked like for pretty much the entire freshman year, and being shocked when I finally saw everyone's faces for the first time. The first couple of days in high school were awkward, to say the least. We barely knew each other, and we definitely did not know our way around the school. Still, at least we knew our mascot was a Maverick, not a Mustang. Our interim principal, however, mixed that one up. Thanks to moments like that, we got to know each other pretty quickly. We joined sports, clubs, other extracurricular activities. We showed up for each other at our events, competitions, and showcases. We were challenged by both our teachers and our classmates. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Emmanuelson held us to high standards from day one, and we have them to thank for our ability to lead, annotate, and then truly understand and apply what we have read and annotated. Ms. Carroll and Mr. Preacher gave us the most difficult math and science problems we've ever faced, and the support we need to solve them. Mr. Pydemore and Mr. Orton gave us the space to get active and creative. Mr. Brown taught us how to get work done, and Ms. Pillar guided us through the scariest yet most rewarding project of our lives, senior exhibition. And keep in mind, that's just a fraction of the amazing teachers who helped us throughout our journey. We were also guided by advisors and counselors. Ms. Trepka made every class we could ever dream of a possibility, allowing us to create independent studies and sometimes even adding us to a class we thought might be full. Mr. LeBlanc guided us through our college search process and gave us opportunities to plan our futures. Not one graduate did it alone. Our classmates pushed us to improve and encouraged us to show up each day with our best foot forward. Graduates, I want you to think of your favorite memory from your time at Riverdale, one that will define how you look back on your high school experience. Chances are, this memory isn't the time you got the best grade on a test or received an award. Most likely, the memory you're thinking of is much simpler. Field studies, extracurriculars, or goofing off with friends. What defined our Riverdale experience was the community it gave us and the memories we shared. We went on field studies. We sailed a boat in the San Juan Islands, tried out skydiving at iFly, read for an entire day at the Oregon coast, designed our own shirts at an art studio, and stayed in cabins at Summer Lake. We played sports. The entire school was buzzed to Lewis and Clark for a playoff game sophomore year. We got money running at Baltimore. We went to Canada for basketball. and the OES multiple times. We broke our own records over and over again in golf and track. We competed in Science Bowl, built robots from scratch in robotics, debated current issues in Marlboro Men, and simulated a courtroom in mock trial. We were active members in NHS, Maverick Club, Red Cross Club, Period Club, Environmental Club, and so much more. And most importantly, we had fun. We rooted for our classmates during musical chairs, raced advisors in life-size Mario Kart, yelled mass on two to close out every community meeting, thanks to him. And of course, mega boomed the entire school as part of our senior prank. I remember the first time I got excited about the Riverdale class of 2025. Our fall pep rally freshman year and went up against the other grades in the boys' competition. We were easily the loudest class, with only the seniors that year coming close. Ever since, we said we'd be a good senior class like them. I sure hope we lived up to those high expectations, even if we lost to the sophomores in this year's competition. High school flew by faster than we could have ever imagined. But now it's over, and we must look ahead. Whatever path lies ahead of you, and whether you feel ready or not, know that you are more prepared than you think. There will be challenges, but there will also be success. Don't ever be afraid to try new things, take risks, and ask questions. We've made our mark on Riverdale. Now it's time to make our mark on the world. Wherever we go, let's carry with us the lessons we've learned, the friendships we've made, and the memories that have shaped us. Congratulations, class of 2025. Our story is just beginning.
Each year at Riverdale High School, the graduating seniors also choose another speaker, and this year they chose two. And so I would like to invite Mr. Jack Cassie and Mr. Liam Viva to the stage.
Right, you got me in the back?
I'm Jack.
I'm Leo.
Go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you, Riverdale faculty, families, friends, and graduating class of 2025.
Standing here today, we keep thinking about where we started, thinking about when we first walked into the high school building. Unlike much of this graduating class, both me and I came from the grade school. This meant we made a choice to stay here. As many of our close friends didn't end up staying. They chose to go to other schools like Lake Oswego, Lakers, Central Catholic, or Jesuit, just to name a few.
We started our freshman year of high school covered in masks. It was the beginning of the end of the COVID-19 pandemic, as we took our first steps down the halls of Riverdale High School, fearful, itching behind our ear at the stereotypical cheap blue mask that became gross and sweaty after 5 minutes of use. Shy and unsure what to do, we smiled at each other awkwardly, forgetting that we can't see each other's faces because of the coverage of the mask, struggling to get back in the groove when socializing was normal.
We had lots of questions, like lots of them, especially for STEM-centered classes. During online school, at least me and I were trying to compare. But most of these questions extended beyond the classroom, because they were questions we asked ourselves were, where do I sit at lunch? Will I make friends? Will I get lost between classes? Will people remember my name? Will the upperclassmen like me? Well, thankfully, unlike our old friends, which just part ways with Riverdale, we had an easier time navigating through all of these unknowns in the small, tight-knit community that Riverdale allows us to be.
We came in as distant strangers, set apart by 6 feet and forced to be confined to a table by ourselves. We started with awkward hallway hellos and nervous energy and voice cracks on the first day, with our identities half formed and our confidence still in the making. A lot of us were quiet, some of us were loud, some of us even thought we all had it figured out. Spoiler alert, we didn't. We were on the verge of the comeback story of who we would become.
We became a class that showed up for each other at sporting events, including soccer, cross country, volleyball, swimming, basketball, tennis, lacrosse, and track and field
We became aspiring musicians, outstanding athletes with a class of 2025 names that covered the school records, and 1,000 career point landmarks. We became club makers, members, and leaders, class clowns, and quiet leaders within our community, determined to keep social capital alive. We discovered what we cared about. We learned how to speak up, and when to listen. We failed sometimes, we succeeded sometimes, but through it all, we kept showing up for each other.
We kept showing up to each other, similarly to those like Carlos and Carrie, two people in the school who truly put others before themselves. Carrie Ann deals with our constant tardiness or school departure through appointments and sports, while Carlos works 9 hours constantly keeping the school clean for us students. These two model for us what it was like to walk through the world as an others-focused person.
Could we give a round of applause for Carrie Ann and Carlos? Thank you. Through this, we became a community.
You started with nerves and anxious feelings, but now we're leaving with memories. Memories of late night study sessions at Portland State University, the awkward conversations and questions we had with our peers in Spanish class every Friday, intense robotics competitions, model animations conferences in Eugene, Philadelphia, by the way, rivalry matches in the Coosa Range League, the chaotic Frisbee Friday or Free-Play Friday games, and of course, when Liam and I accidentally put up the rice cooker in uniculture, story Mr. Brown will sadly never forget.
And even though not every day was easy, especially in a world that feels like it's always changing, we kept going. We kept persevering. Through Zoom classes with frozen screens, through math tests we swore were impossible. Through late night cramming and early mornings barely awake, we showed up. Even and especially when it was easier just to coast. And that means something. That's what really matters.
We became the distinct class that knows how to embrace and handle challenge. The class that knows how to get back up when things don't go as expected. The class that knows how to laugh in the middle of chaos, forgetting to silence our phones during class lectures or during tests. There were many times we had to rush to turn in an assignment, which meant we didn't have the time to maybe format it correctly according to MLA or AP standards, maybe even run spell check.
Our class was able to flush the negatives and continue to move forward. Like when we would shiver inside Mr. Wynn's 55-degree classroom for 70 minutes of class, turning to each other, praying to the best of our ability.
Let's also say our class sure knows how to send weather update emails for track meets, as well as convince teachers and coaches to take us to Disneyland, as Mr. James Johnson has promised to take us to Disneyland and pay for fast passes.
But most of all, with each opportunity, we became ready. Not because we had all the answers, which we don't, but because we now know how to find them. We learned how to think, how to care, how to ask better questions using all the tools we had available to us. From databases to reaching out to complete strangers with the hope of securing an outside expert for senior exhibition. We learned how to learn.
And so, as we leave these halls and head into whatever comes next, whether that be college, work, or travel, figuring it out as we go, we take with us not just what we learned, but who we become. We are voices, we are stories, we are the class of 2025.
And no matter where we go, we'll always share this. We started here at Riverdale together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I now have a short message for our graduates as well. This year's class is special to me. They're the first group that I have seen all the way through from freshmen to seniors at Riverdale High School. And in that time, I've seen some of the most amazing growth out of the students in this class. So let me start with a thank you to them for letting me be a part of your journey through high school. As you graduate, I find myself thinking about the world that you're entering as young adults. say the least, it's unpredictable and fast changing. New technologies, changing geopolitics, and our interconnectedness all contribute to a world that's as unpredictable as ever. One of my favorite books that I like to give out to graduates is Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. It talks about the ups and downs in life and the unpredictability of the journey. I think it's as poignant as ever. But those of you sitting here right now, waiting for me to be done so you can get on with the fun stuff, give me reason for optimism in that world of unpredictability. Why? Because as the leaders of tomorrow, you are more ready to meet our world's challenges than ever before. You faced uncertainty and change during your school years. And as someone that has seen you through your high school years, I've seen you excel at adapting to change. In my 20 years in education, I honestly don't think I've seen another group of students transform so much as this group in front of us. The intelligence, confidence, and adaptability you've shown is second to none. And that brings me to the point that I want to make tonight. The only advice that you need from me is to keep being who you are. Believe in yourself. Believe in your ability to work hard, accomplish great things, and overcome obstacles. And, as I think you learned in school, be open to change. Your ability to adapt to new realities can be your greatest strength. Some changes might be welcome, some less so, but regardless, you've shown that you have the tools, the intelligence, and the grit to deal with this unpredictable world. So, I'll finish with a quote from Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the one who will decide where to go. Thank you, and congratulations. Now I'd like to invite Superintendent Russo to the microphone for his message.
So where's my boy? I am the superintendent, but I also have a graduate to be in the crowd. So my advice for tonight is okay. And what I mean is the word okay. Two simple yet powerful letters. And I'm going to walk you through why I chose this one. And it's going to be a personal story. You see, I was 6, and I loved my culture and my food. I'm a New York Italian through and through. I don't hide it. And not surprisingly, my father was an Italian chef. I adored him. I wanted to cook like him, maybe to be him. But one day I asked my mom if I could make dinner for him. Make him a special meal. I was going to use everything we had in the refrigerator. Broccoli, peanut butter, pork sausage, milk, chocolate, bologna veal cutlet, and most importantly, noodles. Lots of noodles. And of course, all the spices. And you know what my mom said? She said, okay. My pop's face when I served it, it wasn't okay anywhere. I was 12, and I loved fishing. It was all I wanted to do. I mean, really more than fishing, if I'm honest. I loved the river and boats. And my friend Bill Gay, he had a little boat, an old aluminum barge that felt like it weighed about 500 pounds. And I asked my pop if I could take a boat down the Allegheny River. It was a relatively However, my 12-year-old wisdom, I forgot that rowing back upstream is hard. Wicked hard. I started rowing at 5 in the afternoon and returned to my house by 10:30 p.m. I was 12. Mom was angry, maybe even more scared. And that's not the funny part. I was 18, I just turned, and I was headed to a small liberal arts school in Western New York. I went to study literature and language, Victorian literature, for some reason, and classical languages, Greek, Latin, Anglo-Saxon. I asked my mom and dad, if I could study the essence of language, how it comes together, image and impact. It's etymology and culture. And that's not something you did in my family. You know what they said when I asked them? Here's the interactive part of my speech. Do you know what they said when I asked them? Right, they said, okay. I don't know if you know, but no one really speaks languages like ancient Greek, Anglo-Saxon, and the Italian immigrant side of my family challenged its value. When I was 23, and I just finished my bachelor's degree, and it was nearing the completion of my master's. And it was the time that my father passed. His name was Michelangelo, like the sculptor, but his art was free. It rocked my world, his absence. And as a consequence, I felt like I needed a life change. I asked my mom if I could detour my backward path of medieval studies and classical language and go to England and study linguistics. It was a win, lots of unknown. And you know what she said? She said, and after I finished my studies, I told her, now listen, I told my mom I was moving to Poland. And she said, of course, Chris, it's okay. When I lived in Poland, it was 5 years after Solidarność, something to do with all of communism. It was such a different world for me. When I'm 25, I fancied myself a mountaineer, which became my lifelong obsession. By the time I was living in Turkey, having learned to speak Turkish because it was the only way I could climb. I told my Turkish friends I wanted to climb a mountain called Demirkazi, the Iron Spike. It's a crazy mountain with a 70-foot sheer wall to get to the top. It's exposed, about 500-foot drop. You know what they said to me? You probably don't know the word. In Turkish, it's iyi. But it's okay. I said, okay. Now jump ahead on 28. I lived in Arizona. My first stateside teaching job, and I taught newcomers to the country. And after a year, I told my mom, my friends, my family, that I was intending to take a break and move to Oregon. I was going to work on a farm. I was going to repair equipment, learn how to grow fruits, vegetables, flowers, learn about soil, how to amend it in this fascinating chemistry. And you know what everybody said when I told them what I was doing? Most of them said, okay, except my best friend Bill. Since then, however, Bill's come around. Good friends do. Good friends do. Now I'm a parent. I thought of my son who graduates here tonight. Hold on. I really can't express how I feel. I'm more quiet than a talker, except for right now. Owen walks his own path, choosing his own cadence, progressing deliberately and sure. And like a country, he now asks, or rather tells my wife and I what's next, what he's going to do learned this my whole life with my own questions. I shared some of them. And now working through voicing it on my own. My role has changed. And I know that. I'm feeling the word out. Okay. Trying to embrace what it gives me and what it helped me to become. Understanding its uncertainty and the fear that sometimes comes alongside. I like what I've been imperfectly practicing with my own son. When you ask those questions, my seniors, those filled with intellectual, spiritual, and humanistic curiosity, which actions, and this is important, results in no harm to you or others, and what I hope makes you a better and kinder person. I pray. Okay. Okay. I hope okay takes you to tremendous and curious places. You did for me. And more for myself. Congratulations with this.
All right, we will now have a musical performance by class of 2025's own, Calvin Harris. Now we move on to the culmination of the evening's events. Superintendent Russo, Board Chair Rosenbaum, and Board of Trustees, I certify that the following individuals have completed all requirements to graduate from Riverdale High School. Ms. Laura Kelber will now read the names of our graduates.
Jesse Darwich. Alexander Donries. Sophia Gula. Andrew Elberg. Evan Faulkner. Brooke Gedeke. Benjamin Green. Callum Harrison. Jack Gibbons. Sophie Hoffman. Calvin Jarvis. Emily Young. Ari Paganov. Safira Kellner. Liam Leba. Luciana Macaulay. Kyle Fiaro. Elizabeth Hallie McCarthy. Isabel Mila. Anna Loki. Caitlin Moran. Amelia Mudrick. Joshua Nordstrom. Leo Novak. Georgia Pierpont. Dylan Lush. David Harbour. Madison Reed. Bjorn Roberts. David Robinson. Owen Russo. Christopher Kuzika. Nora Schultz.
going into next year that I will not be in class with you all. But I know all of you will be moving on to bigger and better things. They say there's nothing like home. I say there's nothing like Riverdale. And I'm so fortunate that this was the class that I ended up with. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I hope that each and every one of you flourishes in this world, that you will achieve and do great things, but most importantly, that you will be the best versions of yourselves and strive to achieve whatever it is that makes you happy. So as we leave this school and move on to pursue our futures, let's strive to be great and to illuminate our and others' lives, even in the brightest and darkest moments. Make the best of everything, try new things, and have fun with your lives. Now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, the turning of the tassel. The turning of the tassel historically signifies the student's completion of high school, and in our case, all the reading, writing, calculating, questioning, and creativity put into across this milestone finish. It also serves as a lasting reminder of all the moments we made in achieving high school, like competing at state, having fun at quiz days, and of course, submitting our senior exhibition papers as we prepare to flip into the next chapter of our lives. Right now, the tassel is located on the right side of our caps. When we move it to the left side, we can no longer say we are Riverdale students, but rather Riverdale graduates. So, what I ask of you, my fellow classmates, if you could take your tassel and transition it to the left side of your caps, here you will now find that you're no longer a high school student, but rather a high school graduate. So now, it's time to stand as we prepare to throw our caps and conclude the ceremony. Graduates, please rise and stand. Liam Leva, if you would join me up here one more time. We'll throw our caps on Mavs.
All right. Mavs on 2. 1, 2. That concludes our commencement exercises for the class of 2025. Congratulations.
Head out now?
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Frank, you remember to push start, right?
I think so.